Hello, I'm Jay, owner of Volunteer Audio in Oliver Springs, Tennessee. I have this beautiful 2019 Street Glide CVO, and we're going to be upgrading it from the factory boom stage 2 to a huge Hertz Stage 6 upgrade. We're going to be using the SP 4.900, that huge amplifier. It's 1,000 RMS, 2,000 watts peak to run all 6 of our Hertz Neo speakers. So hang out as we do a time lapse and go over all the equipment we're installing, and hopefully we'll get a great walkaway at the end of the video. All right, so very quickly I want to go over the product we're using in this 2019 Street Glide CVO. And I want to explain why we're doing what we're doing, because we get a lot of questions on which speakers should I use, which ones are the best for my install. So on this particular bike it had boom stage 2 and it had the 6 speaker setup. You know if you've got boom 2 because you're going to have 1 amp for every 2 speakers. And in this bike we have an amp in the fairing, an amp in the right bag, and an amp in the left saddle bag. So as part of this I want to make sure and speak about plug and play harnessing, because a lot of shops really don't know what they're doing when it comes to boom audio. Now, I want to also tell you there are a lot of good shops that do know what they're doing too, but I want to make sure you know when you're at the right place. If you go in and they mention cutting your harness, walk away. You're at the wrong place. We don't ever need to cut up the harnessing in a CVO bike. There are plug and play harnesses readily available, and here at Volunteer Audio we are going to use those plug and play harnesses everywhere the amp went, and we're going to build a beautiful T-harness right where the amp installs in the fairing. So nothing's going to get cut, nothing gets modified, and that's very important. We just don't want problems with connections later, and we want to make sure all our polarity stays correct, and we can do that with all this harnessing. So in this install, we're using the new Hertz SP 4.900. This thing's been amazing. Every install we do, I'm still blown away with how loud and how clear the install is. And with the extra power from this amplifier being, it is a 1,000 watt RMS amp, we get so much better mid-bass response from that extra power. So we're going to be using a set of SX165Neos in the fairing. We're also putting new grills in, because when you have a boom 2, you had a tweeter mounted in the grill, so we'll be replacing the front grills, and we'll be mounting these. The SX is our 6.5-inch mid that also has a center mounted tweeter. Now in our lowers, I mean, you're never going to get sub bass or a lot of low bass out of your lowers, but keep in mind when you do a system, the more tweeters you have, the less mid bass you hear. So in our lowers, we're going to be using the SV165 mid bass. So we're not adding another set of tweeters in the bottom. It's just going to be a mid. It's going to give us better vocals and better mid bass response without having so much high pitched frequency that it becomes annoying. When you listen to classic rock or some of these older recordings, there's a lot of high range and not a lot of bass. So we want to keep those highs kind of toned down some in this install. Also in our rear factory, we had 5x7s. We're going to be using the American hardbag adapters. We're going to be cutting out that 5x7 shell on the back, using their adapter to properly install a set of 6x9s while retaining the factory power lid locks. So 6x9s, the SX690Neo in the rear, SX165Neo in the upper, SV165Neos in the lower. We're also changing those grills also to the MPG 1653. It's a great looking grill. It's going to go in the bottom and look like factory, along with this huge SP 4.900, completely built in a plug-and-play setup, so everything is retained, everything is done right. If you cut a wire in your Harley, you can void your warranty. This bike's probably out of warranty, but even so, we still want to make sure we always do it the right way. So if you're at a shop and you're talking about getting the audio done and they're talking about cutting the wiring, run. If they're not going to do the wiring right, I about guarantee you they're not going to set your gains right, they're not going to flash the radio right, they're not going to do all the other things that they need to do, and I just want to make sure that you know that this thing has to be done right for you to have a great experience no matter what equipment you buy or what you do. So watch the time lapse as we get this install done, and hopefully at the end you'll be just as amazed as we are at the end result. All right, so here we got it. We've got this 2019 Street Glide CVO that JR brought us from North Carolina. Got it done, 6-speaker Hertz upgrade. Went from boom stage 2 to the Hertz SV165Neos in the lowers, the SX165Neos in the uppers. Did the 6x9 conversion in the back. Used to be 5x7s. Now we've got these very clean SX690Neos from Hertz. And all this is put together with the stock radio, all plug and play harnessing, and that new SP 4.900 Hertz amp. 1000 watt RMS, 2000 watt peak, and this thing's awesome. So enough of me talking. We'll play some copyright free music, and we're gonna do a little walk away, see how clear it is and how good it sounds as we get quite a bit away from it. This thing is so crazy loud. Definitely run out of room to walk. It's still going to be loud. Here we are, a little over 100, probably 125 feet so far. See, still loud and clear. And no doubt JR's gonna be able to hear this no matter how fast he's going. Earplugs in, helmet on. It's gonna be loud, it's gonna be clear. Definitely, if you want your bike to sound like this, reach out to Volunteer Audio, 1-844-30-AUDIO. You can visit us at www.volunteeraudio.com. Definitely like this video, subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Comment below if you have other questions about it. But here we are, well over 250 feet away and crazy loud. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day and God bless.